Hello friends at home. In this video, I will be going over today's math test with you. I will be beginning on the side that says Chapter 5 test at the top, and at the bottom it says 31 and 32. If you are not looking at the side that looks like this, you need to flip your test over so you can follow along. Now, just a reminder, because this is a video, at any time when you need more time to work on a problem, you can just pause the video. So I will read through the questions quickly. However, anytime you need more time to work, just pause and then unpause when you're ready to move on. Also, for this test, you will need your cubes to measure. If you have an inch ruler, you can get your inch ruler. And if you have small paper clips, you will need those as well. If you do not have any of those things, don't worry, because I will be measuring each object on the screen for you, and you can find your answers from my screen. Okay? So number 1 says, order by length from longest to shortest. Now, longest should be first, and shortest should be third. So make sure, and you can either write 1, 2, 3, or you can write first, second, third. It's up to you. But make sure the longest has a 1, the shortest has a 3, and then the middle one has a 2. So go ahead right now and number those in order. And again, remember, you can pause in between if I'm going too quickly. All right, looking here, number 2, it says use cubes to measure the bear. So I'm going to take my cubes, and you can do the same. And remember, these measurements are not going to be exact. When Mrs. Hatkoff and I copied the test, we shrunk down the pages to fit 2 pages onto 1, and it changed the size of some of the things that we're measuring. So as long as your measurements are close, we're going to keep it correct. So here we have about how many cubes tall is that bear? And put your answer on this line. And now looking at the pencil, I want you to first estimate. Take a guess. How many cubes long do you think the pencil is? And put your guess on this line. And then after you've made your guess, take your cubes and measure about how long and put the measured length here. And when you're done with that one, use your cubes to measure the fish. And on the line, put about how many cubes long is the fish. And it says about because these aren't going to be exact measurements. They're just about measurements. So now we're going to go to the top of the next page, and we're looking at the shoes here, and it says compare the length of each picture to a small paper clip. So I have a small paper clip. If you don't, that's okay. This is just to kind of help put it into perspective for us. So right now we're comparing the large sneaker to the small sneaker, and we're deciding, is this sneaker longer or shorter than this sneaker? If you think that this one is longer, put an L here. And if you think it's shorter, put an S. And then you're going to do the same thing with number 6. If this sneaker is longer than the black one, put an L. And if it's shorter, put an S. Moving down to number 7, use cubes to measure. So you're going to line up your cubes. Remember, we start lined up between the dotted lines. And remember, these measurements are not going to be exact, but get about. Is it about 2, about 3, or about 4 cubes long? Fill in the bubble. And now we're going to measure the battery using small paper clips. Now you can see here the length of the battery is about this many. If I use more than that, that's too many. So go ahead and put about how many paper clips long it is here. And then we're going to turn the page. When Mrs. Hatkoff and I were looking over this, we realized that there was no good way to measure these shapes because they shrunk down too much. So for this one, I'm going to give you the answer. You're going to put 2 1/2 inches. We haven't learned about the 1/2 inch yet, so that's not something that you would be expected to know. But again, because we shrink it down, it threw off the answer. So you can just write 2 1/2 for that one. For these ones now, you're going to look at each of the strings and you're going to decide if we were to stretch the strings out so that they were all flat and straight, which one would be the shortest? put a 1 next to the shortest. Which one would be the longest? Put a 3 next to the longest. And then the one that would be in between, put a 2. So you're ordering them from shortest to longest, but you have to imagine that you stretched them out first, okay? Number 11 says, Corey draws a line that is 9 units long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units long. That's Corey. Edgar draws a line that is 3 units long. 1, 2, 3. That's Edgar. Who draws a longer line? Corey or Edgar? Put either C or E on the line for the longer. Which one's longer, C or E? Okay, this one says measure using cubes, then measure using paper clips. So if I put my cubes on here, it's about right here. And if I put my paper clips on here, it's about right here. So you write down how many cubes, how many paper clips. And again, if you have cubes and paper clips at home, you can be doing the measuring too. But if you don't, you're welcome to look at mine and use my measurements. Again, don't forget, you can be pausing in between. I know I'm moving quickly, but that's because it's a video. So if you need more time, you can take as much time as you need. 13 says measure the plant using an inch ruler. How tall is the plant? So if I take my inch ruler, and I remember I don't start at the end of the ruler, I start at the first line, and I put it there. Now, again, we shrunk this down, so it's a little bit smaller than it should be, but we can see it's closest to the 1 inch. So you can go ahead and say that the plant is about 1 inch tall. Now it says if this plant grows 3 more inches, how tall will it be? So right now it's 1 inch. If it grows 1, 2, 3 more inches, how many inches tall will it be? Put that answer here. And now the last one, I'm going to use colors to help you visualize it a little bit better. It says draw the pencils to prove your answer. So it says the green pencil is longer than the yellow. So I'm going to draw a line for the green, and I'm going to make it longer than the yellow because it says green is longer than yellow. Okay, so that is true. The green is longer than the yellow. Then it says the yellow pencil is longer than the red pencil. So I have to make sure the yellow is longer than the red. Now the question says, is the red pencil shorter or longer than the green pencil? Well, looking here, is the red shorter or longer than the green? If you think it's shorter, put an S on this line. And if you think it's longer, put an L on this line. And when you are finished doing that, you are finished with your test. Don't forget to make sure you put your name on your paper. First thing, take a picture of both sides. Make sure your picture isn't blurry so that Mrs. Hatkoff and I can see it. And then upload that picture, well, both pictures to Class Dojo. And we will get you some points in the grade book. Nice work today, friends. See you later.